81 teams are going to be headed to 6 regions around the country, 3 regionals in the Southeast, 2 more out west in Washington and Nevada, and the final site in Illinois. There's going to be 13 or 14 teams in each region, with the top 5 from each advancing to the NCAA championships at the end of May. Let's give you a little more detail on the field. In addition to the teams, either 5 or 10 individuals from teams not qualifying, they're also going to be sent to each region. 28 teams receiving automatic bids for winning their conference tournaments. 53 have been selected by the NCAA committee. 5 teams from each region will advance to those NCAA championships, which get going on May 23rd. And for the second straight year, the championships will be held at Omni La Costa Resort and Spa in Carlsbad, California. It's time now to reveal the 6 number 1 seeds in 2025. And you just touched on it. The defending national champs, Auburn, they are the top overall seed. They'll get to play regionals at their home course. Joining the Tigers, you're going to see quite a few SEC schools. Ole Miss, the top seed in the Tallahassee region. John Fields, his Texas Longhorns, the number 1 seed in Reno. And the LSU Tigers, they claim the top spot in Amherst, Virginia. The other 2 top seeds are from the Big 12. Conference champion Oklahoma State will head to Urbana, Illinois, and Arizona State will travel to Bremerton, Washington. The first region of the day, it is the Auburn Regional in Alabama. It's going to be played at Auburn University Club, home of the Tigers. It sits just a few miles northwest of the town and university. It first opened in 1999, and the 18-hole championship golf course is set on rolling hills and woodlands. So let's take a look at the teams that are going to be playing their regionals in Alabama. Auburn, the number 1 seed. The number 2 seed, another program from the SEC, the Texas A&M Aggies. And then you see a handful of teams that are going to have to travel a bit, including the 3 seed, the Big Ten champion UCLA Bruins. SMU's in at number 4, and the 6 seed Oregon Ducks. A little bit further down, you have a couple of conference champions, Loyola Maryland from the Patriot League and USC Upstate from the Big South. Let's take a closer look at the region's top seed, the defending national champion Auburn Tigers, led by head coach Nick Kleiner. Jackson Coyven, he is still the number 1 player for the Tigers, but plenty of depth behind him. Brendan Valdez, Josiah Gilbert, and Carson Baca, all top 30 players in the individual rankings. And time to reveal the next region of the day. We're going to head to the Commonwealth of Virginia, the Poplar Grove Golf Club in Amherst. That's going to play host. It was the final course designed by Sam Snead, and it underwent a renovation in 2021. The course is ringed by the Blue Ridge Mountains, and nearby Liberty University will be the host institution. On the strength of making match play at the SEC tournament, the LSU Tigers have earned the number 1 seed. They're going to have to travel to Virginia, and there's a Scandinavian flavor on this roster, including Sweden's Algot Clean and Jay Mendel, just finished in a tie for 3rd during the stroke play portion of the conference tournament. Who's going to be joining LSU? We'll take a look at the squads headed to the Shenandoah Valley and Poplar Grove. They include number 2 seed Oklahoma. LSU was able to jump them for that final number 1 seed after the SEC tournament. Vanderbilt has been a national power over the last decade. They are the 3rd seed, and the 2021 national champions from Pepperdine will have to make the cross-country trip as the 4th seed there. Region. Time now to reveal the next region of the day. It's the Urbana region in Illinois. That's going to be played at Haskins Golf Club, which is the home course for the Illinois Fighting Illini men and women. And after the course was gifted to the university in 2020, it underwent substantial renovation, which resulted in a championship venue that plays over 7,500 yards. So let's take a look at the programs headed to Illinois for that particular regional. Oklahoma State, the number 1 seed. North Carolina there at number 2. The Tar Heels led by the third-ranked amateur in the world in David Ford and his twin brother Maxwell. Illinois, the host team, in as the third seed. Texas Tech is number 4. And a little bit further down, you'll see the 7th seed Houston Cougars, long removed from the days of Fred Couples and Billy Ray Brown. But Houston, they have the most men's team championships in the modern era. But let's circle right back to the top seed, the Oklahoma State Cowboys, 11-time national champions, most recently in 2018. The Cowboys won the Big 12 tournament at Southern Hills by 11 shots. That was their 3rd consecutive win and the 4th win overall during the spring season. Oklahoma State is led by Ethan Fang and Preston Stout. Let's head to the state capital of Florida for the next region, which will be played at Seminole Legacy Golf Club in Tallahassee. It was recently renovated by the Nicholas Design Group. The course can play close to 7,800 yards from the back tees, and most holes are lined by oak trees that are almost 100 years old. Let's take a look at the schools headed to Seminole Legacy. Ole Miss, the top seed. The host institution, Florida State, is number 2. Seminoles lost to Auburn last year in the NCAA match play finals, but they're back. They're led by the superstar Luke Clanton. How about San Diego State, the 3 seed? They're going to make that long journey from west to east. And Georgia, the 4 seed, of course, we know the long lineage of Bulldogs currently on the PGA Tour. Maybe one of the biggest surprises of this season could be those Ole Miss Rebels. The number 1 seed in the region had a really strong fall semester, which catapulted them up the rankings. Michael Lasasso has emerged as one of the top players in the nation. The women, they won the national title in 2021. The men's program will attempt to add to that trophy case here in 2025. The next region is in the biggest little city in the world, Reno, Nevada, and Montreux Golf and Country Club, which hosted the Barracuda Championship for more than 2 decades. As this golf course meanders through streams and foothills, the signature hole, the par 4 17th, featuring a 138-foot drop in elevation from tee box to the fairway. The number 1 seed, the Texas Longhorns, led by their longtime head coach John Fields. Texas advanced to match play at the SEC tournament in the first year of the conference. Their first year, that is, before losing in the quarters to Auburn. Texas's top 4, as good as anyone in the country: Daniel Bennett, Christian Moss, Tommy Morrison, and Arizona State transfer Luke Potter. Here now, the teams heading to Nevada along with Texas. We start with the 2 seed, the Virginia Cavaliers, coming off the first ACC championship in program history. And that's a history that dates all the way back to 1954 for the Hoos. Some other Eastern teams make up the rest of the top seeds: Alabama at 3, Duke at 4, and Mississippi State at number 5. We will now take a look at our final region. We're going to head to the Pacific Northwest, Gold Mountain Club in Bremerton, Washington. That is the site. It's a hard-to-get-to kind of golf course in the western third of the state. Gold Mountain offers wide fairways, plenty of trees, and water line the golf course in case players stray just a little bit from those fairways. The number 1 seed out there in Washington State, it belongs to the Arizona State Sun Devils, coached by Matt Thurman. They are led on the course by the reigning U.S. amateur champion Jose Le Ballester, Michael Miaseth, and Preston Summerhays. They add a lot of depth to a roster that should be a threat next month at Omni La Costa. The final teams that comprise the NCAA championship field, the Florida Gators. They're 2 years removed from their national championship. J.C. Deacon, the head coach, his squad coming off a win at the SECs, but a long trip across the country for those Gators. Same can be said for 4 seed South Carolina and the 5th seed from South Florida. A little bit further down those seeding lines, you've got a handful of conference champions like Elon, Coastal Carolina, Oral Roberts, and Seattle, which gets to stay a little bit closer to home. In addition to the 81 teams that make the field, there are 45 players that also earn a spot in the NCAA championships and will play as individuals, either 5 or 10 players in each region. So let's start with Amherst, Virginia, and they include Andrew Swanson of Clemson, a senior for the Tigers who finished inside the top 20 at the NCAA Championships 1 year ago. From Virginia to Florida, here are the players headed to Tallahassee. They include Milan Potgieter from Louisiana. No relation to Aldrich, but the South African native leads the Raging Cajuns with a sub-71 scoring average this season. And Nashawn Taylor of Florida Atlantic has an individual win and a runner-up finish in his last 3 starts for the Owls. The individuals competing in the Auburn Regional, Louis Anso, the top-ranked player in the region, a sophomore from Louisiana Monroe, has an individual win back in February. And how about one of the best names in the field, Jeep Patrick from Presbyterian. He won the individual championship in the Big South Conference. Take a look at the players who will play at Atkins Golf Club in Urbana, Illinois. Hunter Thompson from the University of Michigan just won the Boilermaker Invitational a couple weeks ago. Thompson, a senior from the Wolverines, or for the Wolverines, originally from Calgary. And you'll also see Jack Schoenberger, who transferred from Belmont and is now playing for those Kentucky Wildcats. Some more individuals getting an opportunity to play in Reno, Nevada at Montreux Golf and Country Club, a former PGA Tour venue. How about the year Dane Huddleston has had at Utah Valley? 5 wins, 7 top 3 finishes. What a season for the sophomore. And the final individual players who will make the trip out to Washington. A lot of long trips for those heading to the Pacific Northwest for some of the teams in the region, but not really the case for some of the individuals like Sam Renner of Washington State. And you also see a pair of players from Loyola Marymount. The Lions were not eligible for the tournament as a team because of the 500 rule, but Mason Snyder and Cade Anderson, they will play as individuals. Time now for the Fred Haskins Award watch list presented by Stiefel. That list is starting to get pared down. Here are 10 names to watch as we head into the regionals and the NCAA championships. That list includes Koiven, who is one of the favorites this year, as is David Ford of North Carolina. He has 5 individual victories this season. And PGA Tour fans, they know Luke Clanton, who has had his PGA Tour card waiting for him at the end of the season, and Jose Le Ballester as well, the 2024 U.S. Amateur Champion.